Hey there, Tad Harger from Marketing for Hippies. Today's video is about bait and switch versus bait and starve versus bait and feed. Okay, so bait and switch is terrible. Bait and switch basically means you look in the store window and it says, hey, this red dress is available for $20, and you go in and there's no red dresses and nothing is $20. Yeah, they got you into the store with something which they had no intention to sell you. That's bait and switch. But then there's also bait and starve. Bait and starve is where you host, let's say, an intro workshop, and you teach people, sort of 1% of what you know, and you don't tell people that there's anything left. So you've given them the worm, and they get this metaphor doesn't work exactly because you're not trying to catch a fish to feed it. But let's imagine you were. You catch them, and then they're like, "Where's the rest of the food?" And there's no more food for them. So you've baited them in with something, but then there's no, but then they leave and it's like, well, I guess there wasn't anything else. You give them the impression that, oh, that's all there is. And I call that bait and starve, because what you give them in that workshop, they might leave thinking, oh, that was a nice meal, but of course they're very hungry right away later. If you've ever had that, you go to a little workshop and think, oh, that's all I need, I'll just roll with that for a while. But then you go to apply it and you realize you have so many questions, but there's no one to help you. That's baiting and starving. Baiting and feeding is where you get people into an intro workshop, maybe with a certain topic, and once they're there, you open up their mind to how much more there is to learn. So, there was a workshop I went to, a colleague and client of mine she was a sexologist, and it was a workshop around techniques. I think one was called Blow His Mind, one was called Blow Her Mind. She was in town. I was like, oh man, okay, I'll check it out. And so I came, and afterwards we were at the Starbucks talking, and forgive me, Starbucks, but we were there, and I said, so is the techniques, is that the only thing with a healthy sexual relationship? She said, oh, no, there's also, there's communication's probably a more important thing, and, breathing, and there were a number of things that were much more important than just the techniques. I said, but you never mentioned those in the workshop. You just went straight into the techniques. Now, the truth is that technique was the thing that people seemed to respond to. That's what got people to the workshop. But what I'm saying is, at that workshop, she could have said, hey, we're going to go into the techniques, but I want to take 15 minutes to the front just to give the context of the rest of it. And then we will get into that, yeah? So she's baiting and feeding. She's giving them, here's the more context. And now they know that there's more food. If they're hungry after that little worm, they can go back and they can get some more food. Again, I need a better analogy than baiting and fishing. It doesn't work. I do understand. So bait and switch? No. Bait and starve? No. Bait and feed? Yes. They come for the worm, but they stay for the rest of the food. They come for there's the hook, there's that thing that gets them in the door, but they often stay for something else. I think of a workshop a colleague of mine did in a nonviolent communication person who did a workshop for a school. It was called How to Deal with Difficult Parents. But while they're there, they might come for the how to deal with difficult parents, but they might stay for learning more about nonviolent communication. Had a puttering session with a woman, and she wanted to do, she did nonviolent communication, and she wanted to do sessions on how to cross the chasm around, with COVID and the different camps there are. On one side, if you don't take the vaccine, you're killing people. On the other side, if you force people to take the vaccine, you're killing them. And it's very intense. So she wanted to do workshops on how do we bridge the gap in those conversations. Brilliant. So they may come for that, how to bridge the gap in conversations about COVID, but they might stay again for a larger conversation about community building, nonviolent communication, community repair, that type of thing. So it's okay to lead with one thing. Yeah, because like you have a house, and inside there's just a rainbow of colors, but you might decide to paint the outside of your house one color because you want to attract a certain group of people. And when they're in there, they come into the blue living room, and you may have other colors to offer them. But if you have the rainbow color, it may be too confusing. Yeah, because people tend to have a preference of one color over the other. People tend to try to launch too much. You meet them at a party, say, what do you do? Oh, I do. And they list a million things that they do. And people get very confused and overloaded and overwhelmed. So we want that initial offer to be simple. Yeah, very simple to understand what it is. It should be relevant to them, meaning it addresses some problem they have, offers them some result, that they're craving, or here's the product you're looking for. And again, once they're in, once the conversation's going, there could be more. You go to a ski shop because you heard about a sale on skis, but when you're there, the salesperson says, "Oh, do you ski off?" "No, it's my first time." "Oh, okay. Well, do you have boots?" "Yeah." "I mean, skiing boots." "You need boots for skiing? A different kind of boots?" "Okay." "And do you have goggles?" "No." "Do you have poles?" "No." "Do you have jacket?" "No." "Do you plan to do a lot of skiing?" "Yeah, I'm thinking about, my new wife, or she's really into skiing and I want to get it." "Okay, so you're not going to want to just rent this stuff. Okay, you need to buy this." Now they came in for one thing, but they left with a bunch of stuff that they actually did need. But you could just sell them the skis and not offer them anything else. So they come in for one thing, and then there's a conversation where we see what's needed. Yeah, and for some people, oh, that little worm, that'll be enough, and they'll leave. But other people, when they realize how much more food there is, if we tell them, those people may become longer term clients. Those people may be very interested in the meals that we're serving and want to invite other people to dinner with us, and they can be our best source of business. So no baiting and switching, but also don't bait and starve. Don't just give a taste and not tell them you have anything left. Bait and then feed. Not everyone's going to want to stay for the meal, but some will. So thank you so much. I hope these little worm videos, I'll never say that again, little morsels are tasty for you. There is more, of course. If you go to marketingforhippies.com, I got a bunch of ebooks. Go to my events page. There's events I have on a regular basis. You can check out my membership, marketingforhippies.com/membership. You can book a puttering session with me. We could chat one-on-one, marketingforhippies.com/puttering. So there you go. That's it. Thanks to everyone who's liking the videos, sharing them, is on my email list. Deeply grateful. I see the ferry coming in, so I'm going to stop doing videos now, and we'll see you down the road.